the highest rates of STDs and stuff are in the Polynesian community because there's the lack of education about it. Mm-hmm. And the lack of knowledge. So they end up not realizing the signs and symptoms of it because they haven't been taught it at home, or, you know, their healthcare providers just failed to teach them about that. And again, just like financial literacy, I think sexual emotional literacy is also something that we should focus in on our homes, in our homes and teach our children. And yeah, just make sure that they know about everything that is out there in the world, and then leave it to them to make their decisions. But my mom always says, you know, I teach you everything about the world, and then it's your choice to make whatever decisions it is you make. But I'm already telling you about the good and the bad. And so, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because I think a lot of times we are not educated enough about these really real life topics that will affect us, you know, as we're growing up. And it's important for anyone else who's watching to know these things. Sex is a very taboo topic. When you asking me right now, I'm kind of like, oh my God, like, you know, that is taboo. But I definitely feel it's important to talk about it because I think of all these stories I've seen and heard on social media about different girls getting raped, for example.
Yeah.
And I think a part of it is the miseducation that our young boys have had growing up. You know, of course, maybe when they grew up, they felt things within their bodies, but they just didn't want to act on it. They suppressed all these things. This idea of suppression and suppressing our real feelings and what we want to do, it ends up becoming toxic, and we end up releasing it in ways that shouldn't have been released later in life. So touching on what you said, I think it's absolutely important to talk to young women and young men. It all starts at home. It really does start at home. So if you guys out there have younger brothers or sisters that you feel like they don't really know about sex or haven't had sex education and stuff, I think it's important to talk to them about the consequences and the implications and what it means to, you know, share a sacred part of yourself with someone else. And I do think that in our culture, it's really cool that we save that sacred part of ourselves for marriage and all that stuff, you know?
It's a beautiful thing.
But at the same time, it's important to talk about it and educate our children about whether it's safe sex practices, STDs, you know, it's terrible that they have to go out in the real world and then find out for themselves what it is, and somebody ends up getting pregnant. And I think everything starts at home. And I think I'm just thinking of my future children. I think I'm gonna be like my sister, how she's teaching her sons about it at an age when she knows puberty is hitting. And I think podcasts like this raise awareness on some of these issues that need to be addressed in our homes and what we need to be teaching our kids. But I basically agree with you that educating Tongan kids about sex at the right age can prevent a lot of harm and a lot of things from stopping their future from progressing, like getting someone pregnant and all that stuff can really be prevented at home if you're teaching your kids about everything and just telling them that they can share anything with you, you know, being that person who is always there for your children and not scaring them to not talking to you about things like that. So I have hope for the future, and I'm sure it's already starting now. Like this generation of Tongans, I feel like they're more open and they can talk to their children about this because, like you said, it affects mental health. It creates a numerous amount of problems, you know, over the long period of time when we are not talking about these things at home at the proper age. So I think you raised a good point.
Oh, thank you. No, because it just sad. This is because, like you said, we just talked about financial literacy, how important that is for our future, right?
Yeah.
Who we pick as a life partner and children procreation, that is also a big part of our future.
Right.
Can definitely put a ripple on what you're trying to do for your life. So anybody that listens to this, you know this. If you know the difference between when you have a bad toxic partner, you know how your life is
Yeah.
compared
It's
to having a healthy partner, right?
a happy and healthy life.
Healthy partner that's supporting you, that loves you, that loves your children, supports your children. With it, there's a big difference in your life when you choose to have somebody in your life, not only to have kids with, but that also supports you. But like I said, like we don't teach our kids about sex, and not just it's a beautiful thing we share with somebody, to be intimate with somebody, and not
Somebody
just
you love.
somebody you love and cherishes
Respect.
you and respects and values, and not just give it to the first dude that tells you you're pretty. Hey, Tahin. Which I see a lot because we don't educate our kids on that, and of course to men.
Did you do that to people? Will, come on.
I just saw that. That was something I just saw in my life.
Okay.
But yeah, and of course we don't teach men about safe sex or having sex. Then we just letting these men run around having babies and not taking responsibility for these kids, baby daddies, and leaving out these moms for single moms. Like, we need to teach our kids, hey, if I'm gonna have a son one day, I'm gonna let them know, hey, if you're gonna choose to have sex with somebody, make sure you're ready for that responsibility. Mm-hmm. Right? If you have sex, you have a kid, make sure that's the person that you're gonna spend. So that's something we need to have a conversation with, so that way men can take responsibility for the kids, and also so we keep that family dynamic together. Because I feel like lately I've seen there's a lot of single parents now, and single families now. I just see that it's starting to increase within our community. So